Hey everyone, we are at EVGA's HQ in Taiwan, and I'm with Vince, aka Kingpin. So we were just in a fight over the J overclocking war, and I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean for it to go that far. So we're here to look at. I guess first we're doing a lab tour. It's going to be pretty informal. Vince is just going to walk me through everything here, and we'll talk about it a bit. And then we have more content that we'll do on maybe like lapping a CPU or looking at the Kingpin 2080 Ti's. We're also going to have a secret project from EVGA at the end of this video, so make sure you watch all the way to the end to see some secret upcoming projects they're working on. Before that, this video is brought to you by iFixit and the Manta Driver Kit. The iFixit Manta Driver Kit is built out as a generalized tool for repairs of all types, with a focus on game console repairs by including those strange proprietary bits, phone repair bits, laptop repair bits, and more. The Manta Driver Kit includes tri-wing bits, spanners, PosiDrive game bits, Torque security bits, and everything else for general tech repair. Click the link below to learn more. So this you're using for lapping the CPUs?
Yeah, we use this lapping machine for lapping the CPUs. We use it for lapping the bottom of the pots to make them nice and flat. Like I told you when I loaned my pots to Tin.
Yes.
He loves to put dents in the bottom of them, so I like them.
Tin is we should note Tin is the evil genius behind some of the KP mods. I guess.
Definitely. He's the evil genius.
So Tin gives you the screwed up pots.
Yep.
And then you fix them with this?
And then I fix them with this, and you can put a really nice lap on your CPUs using this machine.
So can we turn it on?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is basically a sander.
So basically it has a stone platter, and it's very flat, and it rotates forward and backwards. Okay. Variable speed.
And is this your sanding paper? Or
yeah,
sandpaper?
200 grit, 400 grit, 800, 1200, 2000, just kind of go through all the grits.
Right. Have you seen any improvement on your thermal since going to this from manual? Like or is it just faster?
Definitely. The biggest improvement I see is actually the thermal grease. It will crack less, and there'll be less grease between the two surfaces. It will all push out.
Right.
And then you can run for a very long time.
Okay, cool.
I'll check it with 200 first. Try to take all the nickel off with like 200 or 400, and then just fine lap it with the higher grids.
Cool. And I think we'll probably do a video on this later with, I brought a 9980XE.
Cool, I can show you how to use it.
Cool, and we have, I have some thermal data from before, so complete stock, and then we can do a test after as well and show the improvement.
Nice, yeah, nice.
What's this? What's the tank?
Okay, well, this is an ultrasonic cleaner. And basically what this does is it uses cavitation bubbles, which are produced through transducers inside the tank.
Okay.
To clean and scrub the parts.
So you just have some power connectors in there right now, or some tin project in there?
These are our parts holders. Okay. We put the part on top of that. Because if the part's on the bottom of the tank, the scrubbing action isn't as effective.
Gotcha. Okay, so
there's actually a basket. There's a basket that goes in here, but to put a motherboard in, you can't use the basket. It won't fit.
So you use this, I guess, like to clean off the Vaseline from the boards, stuff like that.
Man, they come out so nice. The boards will come out like spotless, no grease, no residue, no anything. With a circuit board. Now with a circuit board, you want to use IPA, but I got to say IPA is a little bit dangerous.
Okay.
Obviously, it's very flammable, right? So any flammable solvents like IPA or acetone, you have to be really careful because of the fumes.
Right. Right. Do you have anything we can drop in here now and then come back at the end of the video or something?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's find something we can drop in, I guess.
Okay. Let me try to find the nastiest one. Yeah, this one's pretty nasty. This one's pretty nasty, I think. Green Z390?
Yes. So there's a bunch of Vaseline on the caps down there under the socket, I guess.
Definitely. Thermal grease, KPX everywhere.
Do you have to protect the pins when you do this, or?
No, okay. I'll put it in just like this.
Okay, so it's not that aggressive, I guess.
No.
Cool.
It's cool.
The board itself doesn't move. It's just basically have the liquid to clean all the surfaces.
Right. Okay. Cool. Let's try it out, I guess.
Sure. Let's bring it over. So yeah, let's just put this baby in here. Just like that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a known thing on YouTube.
Oh, okay,
You
never
gotta
mind.
watch the sound on this.
Okay, so we've got the board in here. Is there anything safety wise we need to be worried about?
Okay, we are using, you can use detergent, degreaser, you can use water, you can use solvents. We are using isopropyl alcohol, and actually it is not recommended to put IPA in an ultrasonic cleaner because there's definitely a fire hazard. So
Okay.
I want to make sure people know that.
So don't do this at home.
Yeah, don't do
Just
this
be
at home.
Very clear about that. Yeah.
For this industry, IPA is good because it doesn't really leave any residue on the circuit board, and gives you a nice clean product. When you're
Right.
done. This is actually, I got this from a Japanese overclocker. Japanese make such cool stuff. You know, those guys are my inspiration for a lot when I started.
So what is that?
It's a vice press. So
Okay.
you put the motherboard in, and you don't need like a typical mounting mechanism for
Yeah.
this. You just put the pod inside and screw
Okay.
it right down to the board.
That's cool.
This is very nice for no IHS
Mm.
because you can center the pot right on the die. And
Right.
boom.
And then this is I see the insulation here. What was this for?
This was actually an old block that we tested with Roboclocker a long time ago.
That's insanely dense.
Right? It's very heavy.
So are there microfins in it or?
Big time.
Okay.
There's a lot of channels.
And
in it.
it was getting LN2 pumped into it originally. I
Yep.
guess? Okay.
LN2 would shoot straight down the center and then back out.
So does it?
This can run a 9980 5.8, no problem.
Nice.
Yeah, no problem.
Did you just get it machined by?
Yeah,
Someone locally, or?
we custom made it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then, you know what this is? Can you tell?
No. Oh, okay. Is it a direct die?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Direct die.
Cool. But
So-
you keep the outside of the IHS so that you have the pressure correct.
The pressure's
That's
correct.
pretty cool. That's neat.
And the pressure is correct, and the plane of the CPU will stay nice and
Okay.
flat. And then you just mount this direct. This is another valve block for Robo. This can also run 5.8.
That's pretty impressive
Yeah.
for that small of a block.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Dang, that's actually.
We had these custom made too.
Yeah. That's a.
It's kind of something interesting. I don't really show that stuff.
Yeah.
We test a lot of things internally here.
But it's probably, I would imagine, a little bit safer to do it this way, so you don't risk cracking the die. Is that the concern?
Yeah,
or-
you can't crack the die like this. The
Right.
measurements are perfect.
Yeah, right.
The Z height is everything's measured perfect.
What about this socket?
It was the pre-lapping machine days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was before we got this machine. So basically, I cut the socket out of the motherboard, right?
Ah.
And I've been doing this for a very long time because this helps to counter the deflection that you get. So when you
Okay.
put the CPU in the socket, you know, they make them a little bit, I want to say, the surface is not flat to begin with. So when you put it in there, it will sort of like balance out with the deflection from the ILM when you latch
Okay.
it down. This way, I can get a better hand lapping on the CPU.
I see. Okay. So would you socket it and then lap
Socket it and then lap it like
Okay.
this.
Cool.
It gives you a nice.
And I guess when you do it by hand, you just tape the sandpaper to a surface or something. And then
Yeah,
just-
like everybody does, right?
Right,
Tape it to
right.
the table or some glass and hand lap.
Is this anything noteworthy?
That's the bracket for the new Icon pot, which I have over there.
Okay.
GPU pot. I'd like to show that.
Yeah, we can do that.
I have my new stuff.
For
my
sure.
new GPU pot, my new CPU pot.
Is this Tin's lab over here?
Yeah.
Should we?
What about it?
Yeah,
okay.
he's got lots of interesting stuff. over
Okay,
there.
sure. So this is Tin, everyone. Tin, you were on camera with us previously.
Yep.
So this is your section of the lab. It's in the same room with Kingpin, which I guess.
Yeah, just across the wall.
Right. So where do we start? I see.
Well, we can go like from here.
Okay,
So
sure.
basically, like when we designed the new VGA card, like in this case 2080 Ti Kingpin, like we do all of like different function testing and everything.
Right.
So like that's one of the test rigs. So pretty much everything as normal retail pack. And then we like test the display function, test the clocks, the power, pretty much everything you normally do for development of the VGA card.
Cool. So right now you just have a stock Kingpin card hooked up. It
Yep.
looks like. Okay.
So I'm doing some testing with the like radiator as a dual radiator, and this is all on X299 dartboard. So like, and test can take like the whole day.
Yeah.
So it just runs like that, and then I do other things.
Cool. What about is this like a solder station you have
Yeah,
set
it's like
up?
a rework
Okay.
area, like when I need to do some mods or like fix some cars. Like I have the microscope, soldering iron, and then air station, so like can quickly and easily replace things.
I like the. I can tell that you work in a lab because you've labeled your property.
Yeah, basically that was the power supply, but like long time ago, because that was the first EVGA power supply we were working on.
So
And that's basically how all the EVGA business for the power supplies started from.
did you have to label it Tin's property because KP was stealing it?
Well, I like we sometimes had no power supply, and like oh, I just borrowed this power supply, and then I don't see that for like a couple of weeks. So
Cool. So what about anything here you want to talk about? Is this like an active project or?
that's like just some prototyping parts. Like
Okay.
when I need like a quick cooler, like I'll use that instead of like mounting and spending a lot
Gotcha.
of time. Like if I just want to do a quick check.
Just throw something together quickly. Cool. This is this the plate from the?
Yeah, that's
20
actually a
Kingpin?
plate for the memory, the hybrid cooler.
Right.
And it helps to maintain memory temperature. So you have the thermal pads, and it's basically similar part used on FTW3 on Kingpin cards.
Cool.
Because we want like when you change the air cooler to the hybrid, you don't want to have your memory or VRM get too hot.
Right,
Like
right.
otherwise you are kind of like you're making better temperatures for GPU, but going backwards on everything else.
Yeah.
So to make sure everything is balanced, like we actually have the fan on the VRM side to blow the air through, and then you have like the memory plate, the back plate with the thermal pads. So it's not as easy as just change the cooler to the like water pump and
Right.
that's
Right.
it.
Can you tell me anything about these scopes?
Yeah, I
up
have
here?
some scopes like the lower speed one, the higher speed one. So like when I need more channels to like capture the complex, so like maybe like power sequence and stuff like that, then I'll need more channels, and I use those scopes.
Okay.
But my main scope is on the desk over there. So like
This one right here?
Yep. So it's smaller scope, and like you can pretty much do a lot of things as well. And this is like one of the test stations I have. So it's mounted like opposite directions, so
Right.
I can quickly connect the VGA card and do different testing,
Okay.
probing, so I
what,
don't
what
have
kind
to
of
remove
tests
the color.
do you do on this? I see you're.
I do
hooked up
some
something.
voltage tuning, and you can see like the probe hooked to a scope, so I
Right.
can calibrate and make sure all the settings are correct. So pretty much like when we compare like doing the precision development and when we like make sure the voltage reading is correct, like this is pretty much the stuff we use.
Okay.
And then like make sure that software like apply the correction calibration so software readings match the hardware.
Right. Right.
Because actually on the Kingpin card we implement additional circuitry, so the readings are correct for both voltage and power.
What about this scope over here? Or
Well,
this?
that's logic analyzer. So the scope will measure analog signals. So like if you want to see like complex waveforms, you will use the oscilloscope.
Okay.
But the logic analyzer is it doesn't show you the waveform, but it will show like timing. So like if you have like maybe like SPI, like bias communication between the GPU and the SPI chip, like you will use logic analyzer to make sure the data is correct.
Okay. I
So
see.
it doesn't care about the like signal integrity, but it cares about the timing. So it's also have like scope usually have like 2 channels, 4 channels, like high-end scopes have like up to 8 channels. This thing have 288 channels. So you can connect pretty much to whole motherboard and
Right,
see
whatever you
everything
want.
at once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. What's on top of it? Is this just part of the?
That's the power supply
Okay.
and that's the current probe. Like so like if I want to measure the input power, this is the thing I use.
Okay.
So this thing can measure 150 amps.
Is it just a clamp? Is it a current
Yes,
clamp?
so
okay.
you put the wire through and then you close the clamp
It's the
and then
most
it's,
badass current clamp I've ever seen. Though.
yep. It's pretty expensive too. Like this one goes to 150 amps and like when I doing the full measurement for like a VGA card, I use 3 of these. Because I want to
yeah.
have independent reading on each connector
Right.
so I can make sure everything is balanced.
Right, right. Cool.
Oh, that's the, like, you know, like everybody's doing the voltage mods, like using the blue trim pods and like to adjust the voltages and
Yeah.
things. So like sometimes you want more accuracy and you want to actually know what's the value you set when you're doing the voltage mod. So this is essentially the same thing. but but you can read the resistance directly. So this is 100K steps, 10K, 1K, and you just dial in like, oh, okay, you
That's
want
cool.
10K, so you set this one 0, this one 0.
How often do you use this?
We use it from time to time. Like for example, for the Titan RTX engine, we'll like use this to set the exactly settings you want.
Right.
So and then you just connect these two wires to usual like voltage mode points.
Okay.
And this is it.
Cool. I see a Titan RTX shroud up there.
Yeah, that's what all that was left from
that's
it.
what's left of it.
Yeah.
So is there is the rest of it in a bench right now or something?
Well, we did some testing, and like Kingpin already posted the result for Port Royal.
Okay.
So we have a couple of results, but that's still work in progress.
Cool, cool.
Well, that was like when we were checking for the Z390 Dark during the development, like what signals go where. Like, so I printed just bigger, like bigger
Schematic
layout of the board. So like I can see like, oh, this signal goes there, this signals go there. It's just more make workflow more simple.
Chasing signals.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I recognize this as the test bench that's
Yeah,
included
that's the
with
bench
the Dark,
plate
right?
for the Z390 Dark.
Yeah.
And also, like we use the same idea for the X299. That was the first board to come, and it's the same. Just this is the PCB, actual
Okay.
PCB, but that one doesn't have any PCB traces, and it's so we can bundle it together with
Right.
the retail package.
Is there anything special with this card up here?
That's the oldest card I could find before like the recycle everything. The GeForce 256
Okay.
with the DDR memory.
Is this before you were working at EVGA? I
Yes,
guess?
yes.
Okay, yeah. That's cool.
I just keep it like as a piece of memory, like when all the GeForce stuff started.
Right.
Yeah, that's the high-speed scope, like similar to others, just goes to 7 gigahertz, like very expensive, very high speed. But I use it only for the special purpose, so it's hidden there in the rack, doesn't move anywhere.
You know, all of the comments are going to be about cable management.
Well,
and
it's desired to be better, yeah.
We have the same problem.
And his lack of.
We have the same problem. Actually, the Gigabyte OC lab, we saw the same comments. I think, you know, it's, I don't think people are normally too serious about it, but this is clearly an environment
like you
where
could spend a lot of time like optimizing, make everything nice,
Yeah, but it'll be
but
messed
then
up again
you
next
don't
week.
really use it like that
Right.
way. Like
Right.
when like we designed the new VRM, like that's the test board I made.
Okay.
Actually, it have my name on it.
Yeah, I see it. That's
The
cool.
only Kingpin card which have tin on it.
Kingpin.
King 10, yeah.
This is 780 Ti.
780 Ti?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you just do red for fun, I guess, or?
Yeah, because nobody ever supposed to see this, so this
Right.
is like secret project. We made like only like 5 or
Okay.
5 of them.
So this was just for when you did like initial testing of the design?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can see like actually the VRM controller is on the patch board, so it's kind of like botched together.
Oh
with
yeah,
some
right there.
PCB.
Yeah. Cool. So that's tin side of the lab. I guess we'll go over to the last section where Kingpin's currently got his display case, the 2080 Ti KP card,
Yep, yep.
and maybe an LN2 pot. So let's switch the mics back and move over there.
Okay.
We got a lot of LN2 equipment, obviously.
Yeah.
Whole rack of it. You want to talk about the wall a bit? Go through
What-
the history.
This is our sort of display case. It's like our Hall of Fame. There's some products in here were created before me and Tim got here, but
Okay.
most of these are during our era.
Is this a chronological order or just
Yes.
random order?
No, of course I set it up perfect for you. This is chronological on KPs.
So 580 classified, 680. Is this before you or were you here? at
This
point?
was actually our first project together. Was
Okay.
GTX 580 classified. That's Tim's first design, and it was our first opportunity getting our hands wet on VGA.
Cool. That blower cooler design is insane.
It's really effective, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. This card overclocks good too.
So is this an exhaust up here? Is it? It looks like it's channeled out the top and the back.
If you,
It's a small portion of it.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
small portion, but most of it goes out the I/O.
Okay, cool. And then the 680 classified.
What frequency did we hit on that?
Well, the 680 classified is the first card to get 2 gigahertz on GPU.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like we pushed like over like 2080, almost 2100 later.
Yeah, we hit 2100 on that, and we
Cool.
actually beat the, was it 7970? Which Radeon card was it?
I think that's about the right era. Yeah.
Yeah, it was killing all the NVIDIA cards, but we
Right.
got this one to 2100 and took all the records with it.
Cool. So this one I recognize. This is around when I started paying attention to the classifieds.
780
780.
classified was sort of the dawn of the KP card, I would say.
Mm. And this design I recognize. I remember the clear shroud. I think we started seeing that at CES or something.
Carbon, clear, and red look.
Yeah. So out of all these designs, is there one that you feel the most attached to? Like, I mean, or even out of these, like, what's if I stole something from you today, which would you want me to least steal? Not that I'm planning anything.
Yeah, you sure about that? I should watch you, man. I would say probably the 780 Ti is special. Because
Really?
it's the
This
first
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's the first KP card.
Yeah.
And this card was actually very, very good. It was much better than anything else that was out at the time.
Was the red base plate stock? It looks like it has a red base plate in there or something,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly
That
the
was
way
stock?
it came.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then you have the 980, which we did a lot of videos on that one and on that one. What are the stuff down here? Like, what is this?
That's our next generation e-power. He just designed that about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
You want to say something about that?
Yeah, basically we had the red one, that's the generation 4. So we released that in 2014. And then because like the new GPUs had higher power consumption, we designed the new one. So also it's not so easy to get EVBot nowadays. So all the EVBot functionality is integrated on the new ePower. So
Right.
you just have one package and everything, it does everything.
And that's EVBot in there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have never actually seen EVBot in person.
It's a rare bird. It's a rare bird, man.
Cool.
That's it.
When was that last made? Do you remember?
That was made in Shimino's days, long time
Okay.
ago.
Over 8 years ago.
Ah, okay.
Essentially, like all the new regulations for the voltage control and settings adjustments and everything is limited, basically essentially to the software and what NVIDIA will allow you. So EVBot was our solution back then. But now you have the software which can do similar things, so you don't really need EVBot as much.
Mm.
So
Right.
that's one of the reasons why we didn't actually pursue to make a new EVBot, if you may.
Right. What about the center here? So let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about the
SR2?
SR2. Yeah.
Well, this board has got some history, man. This was not our design, of course. This is Shimino's board.
Let's start with this, just because it's sticking out. So.
Well, this is a custom chipset pod I made, and when I would run 4-way SLI, the chipset would be blocked. So I made this pot where the cooling surface is actually under the GPU, and it worked pretty good. I mean,
Let's angle it so you can see in the pot, because it's still got like the same. There's a lot of Vaseline on that board. It's still got the same.
just like it just got benched yesterday.
Yeah. You still have the drilled out areas for like increased surface area, just like a GPU or CPU pot. And you were telling me earlier that this was actually necessary, right? Like the chipset pot.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You
'Cause-
needed this to get the FSB up.
Right. So I think, now on modern boards, you really don't need much for the chipset at all.
No.
That's pretty cool. So you have that custom made, and then what's the black gunk on top of the plate?
There was a temperature probe in there, and that kind of kept it in place.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
just some tack.
Just to secure it. So dual socket board, and this one predated the SRX.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
the first one.
Right,
Imagine 2 CPU pots, and 1, 2, 3, 4 plus this.
Did you have
pots.
help pouring?
Yeah, we usually bench this system
'Cause that
together.
seems like a full-time
so
job.
when we were running Vantage with 4 GPUs and 2 CPU
Yeah.
pods, like we had a split job basically. I was powering GPU cards, and Vince was managing the system and powering
A lot,
CPU.
of, a lot of yelling at each other. Come on, come on,
Yeah.
more!
Don't power my chipset part.
That's cool.
Because when you bench it together, you need to you know how much you pour LN2, and you expect like some temperature drop from that. And
Right.
if somebody else pour LN2 and you don't know it, like you just looking at the screen, then your temperature will call back and your system will stop running.
Right.
So, it was a lot of fun and also a lot of frustration with this board.
What you should do is recommission this into Roboclocker. That's what you should do.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea, but it would be cool.
Yeah, this was a gnarly system, man. This is definitely still to this day. This is probably the most complex and most difficult thing I ever overclocked.
Yeah, I believe it.
Definitely.
That many pots to manage. Very
Yeah,
cool.
sometimes we joke around that like, oh, like this new modern hardware is too easy to run. You
Right.
set the settings, you get the temperature, that's it, record done.
Pretty much.
Record done. So now we have the secret project, part of the lab tour.
Yeah, basically we discussed like stuff about SR2, and we're also working about this beast. So this is the board which will work with Intel Xeon 3175X CPU, and essentially this is a workstation CPU which will allow overclocking, and we're still early steps on this project, so this is the early PCB on it.
Yeah, this is
And-
the first look, I think, too. So
Yeah, we didn't show this before, and essentially it will be a workstation board in eATX format, so you can fit in the standard workstation case, but also support overclocking, so you can see big VRM.
So what is
And-
the? I see. You're on six DIMMs, right?
Yeah,
for
we
this?
opted for the 1 DIMM per channel, so you have 6 channels and 6 DIMMs, 3 DIMMs on each side. Essentially, you have 10G network, PCI Express, up to 48 lanes from CPU, and all the connectivity you would expect from the normal workstation board, like
Was-
U2, M2.
Was the DIMM choice mostly for form factor of the board or for overclocking?
Yes, pretty
support, or-
much.
okay.
We had to rotate the socket, similar to Z390 Dark, so you can fit everything together in the without increasing the height of the board.
Mm.
So, because essentially we also wanted to support normal server Xeon CPUs, like Xeon Gold, Xeon Platinums, and essentially this board would fit both purposes for overclocking
Right.
and for workstation if you have like 4K or 8K or 5K video
Yes.
processing system.
As opposed
This
also
is the board for that.
the other two boards on the market, the Dominus and the Gigabyte one, are like 14 by 14. I think they're pretty big, right?
Yeah,
They're
you
like-
will need a special case
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, there's
But,
only
and
a
this
couple.
one supports one power supply, so you have 24 pin right angle and 4 8 pins for the CPU power.
And your VRM is going to be right here, I guess.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So you have all these phases for VRM and separate power regulators for the memory.
So what is once you get the PCB in like this? What's the next step in the process? I mean,
Well, essentially, we will get the PCB assembled with all the components, so we can do the initial bring up,
Mhm.
test the functions, make sure everything's okay, then do the BIOS work. So we like do the memory tuning, power tuning, all that, and after that we will see like if compatibility issues. Like we will try different devices, different VGA cards,
Right.
different memory, do all the testing, and then board will be ready.
cool. Cool. So there's the SR3.
Yeah,
Maybe?
like working name right now is
Yeah.
R3 Dark, so we will see how that goes.
Okay. So we'll check back on this, I guess, closer to whenever it's going to launch.
Yeah, we plan around Computex time to show something working, and
Cool.
we'll see.
Cool. There's your first look at the SR3. So then, other than that, see the award?
Oh yeah,
The
that's my
Innovation
pride.
Award.
That's
yeah.
my pride right there, man. I love that thing.
Yeah, that was for Roboclocker
Yeah,
last year, 2018, I think.
yeah. When I got that, I posted it on my Instagram. I was
Nice.
so proud of it.
And then on the right side, it's just some motherboard. So, what is the slap chop?
The Slap Chop is a product from like a long time ago in the U.S. The infomercials.
This is an EVGA product.
No, it's not. It's not an EVGA product. It's just some junk U.S. infomercial product that's kind of a joke. So we put it up there.
It's dirtying the brand, the Kingpin brand.
Totally, it doesn't fit in the case, but it's still pretty funny.
Nice. All right, what? Anything else you want to show on this side of the room? I guess.
Not too much, man.
Let's at least just show, I guess, the main bench. Which bench do you use the most frequently?
This one.
This one over here?
Yeah.
So let's show this off.
Yeah.
Is that the new pot you were talking about?
Yep, this is pretty much where I live. I mean, I spend majority of my days here testing everything and anything. These are my new pots. That's the T-Rex for the CPU. This is the Icon for the GPU. Nobody's seen this yet, actually.
Oh, okay.
I haven't sold it.
So that's the brand new one?
Yeah, this is for RTX GPUs. It's got the bigger cooling surface, which actually is much better.
So that's the main change you made, I guess?
Improved internals, too.
Okay.
It's got a little more speed and control.
So what internally, is it a visible difference?
Oh, yeah, it's got more surface area.
It's a train die, I guess?
It has the surface area where you need it, up towards the front of the die.
Okay, right.
The action is more quick.
That makes sense.
Because these GPUs heat up.
What was the name? You said Icon? Or
It's called Icon.
Icon?
That's the
okay,
name.
cool.
Yeah.
Is this going to be, are you selling this one or just for internal use?
No, I'm going to start selling it maybe next week, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to put it up for sale.
KingpinCooling.com?
Yep, KingpinCooling.com.
Well, if anyone wants to get into LN2. Yeah, so I have to ask you because I bought some stuff from your website and you sent a note to my best fan, I think, right?
Yeah, to my best
Johnny Cage reference?
Yeah.
So is that actually a reference to Johnny Cage?
Yeah, I love
Okay.
Mortal Kombat.
All right, because we got that in, and I think I showed it on stream. I was like, guys, I don't know what this reference is to, and
Did somebody know?
Someone pointed it out.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if it was intentional.
I wanted to get it. I wanted to ship it that day. I wanted
Yeah.
to ship it to you quick. But actually, I was going to put in a picture, like a portrait picture with it signed, just like the friendship.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ship it out, so I just quickly wrote something down.
Nice. Well, it's in the set background now.
Really?
So, yeah, it's been there for a couple months. I
Cool,
think.
cool.
So that's the lab. We'll have at least one more video here, and I guess I think we need to also pull out the board that we've been cleaning this whole video, and definitely didn't just put it on pause. And we're gonna start cleaning it right now.
Yeah.
So we'll check that board as well. Okay, so we're back after the rest of the lab tour, and this has now finished. We ran it through twice, I think.
Yep.
So like maybe 20 minutes or something like that.
2 10-minute cycles.
Okay. So let's pull it out, see how it looks.
Let's see what we got. I think she's going to be really clean. And all the Vaseline is going to be gone, gone, gone.
Nice. That is very clean.
Oh, yeah.
So all the stuff that was on the caps over here is now gone.
Yep.
Does it just drip into like a lower container?
Well, what we do is when the solvent gets really dirty, we can drain it.
Okay.
But you can reuse it over and over again. A lot of the sediment and stuff in there
Right.
will kind of sink to the bottom.
Okay, cool. So now what's next?
All right, let me just blow this off.
Clean it?
Blow it out the hallway.
Thank you.
You can see that it basically removed all the Vaseline.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's nice and dry now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, and all the paste that was on the socket
Yeah,
too.
it's pretty much gone. There's a little bit of residue there,
Right,
but
right.
that's nothing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's clean.
Well,
man.
so there's your ultrasonic cleaned board, I guess. Ready for reuse.
Yeah.
And now you don't have an excuse when the engineers get the boards back if it's dirty.
They hate my greasy hardware, man.
But otherwise, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. You can check out Kingpin stuff at kingpincooling.com, right?
Yep.
And of course, go to patreon.com/gamersnexus to help us out directly. Thank you for joining me,
Yeah.
Vince and Tin. Thank you. We'll see you all next time.